Hi, my name's Ollie and welcome back to my channel. In this video we're going to talk about the basics of charts on Etoro and also the differences between the types. If you enjoyed this video then I'd really appreciate an early thumbs up as it really helps the YouTube algorithm, and if you're not subscribed already then please consider subscribing to my channel. So this knowledge is transferable to any broker or charting platform, and once you understand it, it will really help you progress as a trader. Each asset on Etoro has its own chart, so you can analyze the price history and performance of that specific asset. So we've just been joined by Whitley, who's also going to help us present this video. You're going to tell them all about trading and investing. So without further ado, let's get stuck into Etoro. So if we go to everyone's favorite stock at the moment, or the one I always use in my tutorials, Tesla. And then if we click this button here, we'll get to a chart. So then if we click this button on the right hand side, it will expand it to full screen. So this is currently a mountain chart, which is essentially the same as a line chart, and you can change the types of chart by going to this button here. So a line is basically the same but without the fill color underneath the line. So I'm going to leave it on a mountain for now so it's clearer in this video. So when I was starting out, I would use a mountain chart as I didn't understand candlesticks, and there's nothing wrong with this, it's just you get a bit more information when you view a candlestick chart. And the main difference is that a line chart only shows the closing price for the interval period, but a bar or candlestick shows the price of the first and last transaction, and also the highest and lowest transaction price within the time period interval. So every x-axis will always show time and y will show the price. So currently this is zoomed out very far and you can see back as far as 2019 and even 2018, and you can see Tesla has gone up a lot. Well, you can tell this by the graph going up in price based on the y-axis here. So with a normal graph you want to see it heading upwards to the higher price ranges, unless you're shorting, when then obviously you want to see it going down. Now currently along the bottom you can see all the months, but if we scroll in this will actually change to days. So if you look along the top, we can set this time frame interval which will plot a point at each of these intervals. The time scale of this chart is currently set to 1D, which means 1 day. If you change this to 1W, it will change it to 1 week, and the rest are pretty self-explanatory. So if I just set this to 1 minute, now bear in mind the market for Tesla is currently closed as it's traded on the Nasdaq in America. But as I've set this to 1 minute, you'll notice it goes up to 9 PM. Well, obviously they don't trade up to 9 PM in America, but I have set my time zone to the UK time, and if the time doesn't match where you currently are, you can set this by going to this cog up here and going change time zone. So as per the industry standard, Etoro charts only display the sell rate. To determine the buy rate, you would need to add the spread to the prices on the chart. Now that's pretty much all there is to line and mountain graphs. So if we flip over to candlesticks, now bear in mind candles and hollow candles look the same but they're different, so don't get confused over these two, and we'll explain the differences. So this is a candle graph. So firstly, the color of the candle indicates whether the value of the asset rose or fell over the period. So green means the price went up and red means the price fell. Each candle represents our time frame of price action. So this is a 1 minute chart, so each one of these represents 1 minute. And if we were to change this to 5 minutes, this would represent 5 minutes. If we flip over to my Excel doc here, the rectangular main part is called the real body, and that's the same on both the green and red candles. So for green candles, the base of the candle body is the opening price and the top is the closing price, and it's the opposite on a red candle. So this would be the opening price and this would be the closing price. Now these bits that hang off the top of the bottom, these little lines here, are called the tips or wicks, and these represent the highest and lowest price point reached during the specified time frame. These are also sometimes referred to as shadows and tails. Now if you're looking at this in Etoro, you can also see this information without having to kind of like work it out by moving your mouse across. By pressing this button here, it will show you the open, the close, the high and the low. So if we were to pick this one, you can see there that the open is 644.59, which matches to the top left, and then the close is 642.74. Obviously I can't get it right on, but if you look at it in the top left, it'll be exactly what it is. Then with the lowest price point being 642.43 if we go off the top corner, and from here the highest point was 644.69. So if there's little or no wicks like this here, then it indicates that the opening or closing price, depending if it's a red or a green candle, was the same or very near to the highest or lowest point. So if we look there, that says the high was 644.03 and the close was 644.03. Now, another type of candle you may see are doji candles, which kind of look like this. Now, these are where the price open and close at the same or very near the same price. So we end up with very little body. So on these, price can move quite a bit in the time period, but it closed on or very near its opening price. So let's see if we can find an example of one of these in Etoro. That's probably the closest you're going to get to one there. So the opening, the open was 645.26 and the close was 645.23. You probably would find one even closer, but I may struggle to find it for a while. So, I mean, that is a doji right there. So now, rather than go to the hollow candles, I'm going to just show you a bar chart candles, because the hollow candles are different, whereas a bar chart is similar to a normal candle. So if we flip over to this, we've lost all the color, so it's less visibly easy to read in my eyes, but everyone's different on their opinions. So the way these work is that the opening price is the bar indicated by the horizontal foot on the left side. So that one there, that bit there, that bit there. And the close is the foot on the right side. So that one there, that one there, that one there, you know your lefts and your rights. And again, the high and the low of the period is the top and the bottom of the bar. So in this case, that would be the high of the period and that would be the low. So now if we move on to hollow candles, this is completely different to your normal candles. So don't get these confused because it's not the same. So as you can see from here, we've got a lot of hollow green candles and a lot of filled red. Now, you do get filled green ones as well, and you do get hollow red. But there's one, a very small one right there. That one there. Now, let me explain how these work. So, a filled candle, whether it's green or red, means that the current closing price is lower than the same period's opening price. And then if it's hollow, it means the closing price is higher than the same period's opening price. So if it's a green candle, whether it's filled or not filled, it means the current closing price is greater than the previous candle's close price. And if it's a red candle, no matter if it's filled or not, it means the current closing price is lower than the previous candle's closing price. So if we flip over to here, I've put it into another view, which should hopefully make this easier to understand. So there's a few basic rules. When a candle is solid, it means that the current closing price is lower than the same period's opening price. And when a candle is hollow, it means that the current closing price is higher than the same period's opening price. And then the candle's color compares current closing price to the previous candle's closing price. So a green candle means that the current closing price is greater than the previous candle's close price. And a red candle means that the current closing price is lower than the previous candle's closing price. So it's quite a bit different from a normal candlestick. So I generally tend to use just a normal candle, but it's up to you what your preference is. So you can also add in a load of tools you may find useful for your analysis by clicking the pen icon. And there's loads of things in here. I'm not going to go into these. If you want to add one of these, then you can add them in, and then you can just Google what they are to find out what they are. And then Etoro also has a further charting tool by going into ProCharts. So if you go to this cog here, you can press this Launch ProCharts button, which will launch in a new tab window. The main feature of this is if you want to display multiple charts at once, you can either show the same assets with different time frames or completely different assets on different parts of the layout. So I'm going to say I want 4 just so you can see, and then I'm going to add in Apple here, and then I'll add the S&P 500 here, and then the Nasdaq here. Now you can also save this and just give it a name for demo, and then that'll be there next time you come back, and apparently you can save as many of these as you want. If you've liked this video, then please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel. We have a load more educational content on the channel to teach you about trading, so if you haven't checked it out, then please do. Also, if you haven't signed up to Etoro yet, then there's an affiliate link below this video where if you do sign up, I will get a kickback, which helps support this channel, and it doesn't cost you anything extra. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments, and if you've got any suggestions for additional videos you'd like to see me do, then also let me know. It's been Ollie from Get Geek. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.